Now, moving into some of the biggest stories this week, Folarin Balogun and Ketia could be the two players that Arsenal lose, players that you don't want to lose, but could leave in the summer. Let's start off with Folarin Balogun, Glenn. Balogun is flying in the French League R, 21 goals in 25 appearances for Reims. One of the top scorers in Europe, one of the top scorers in the French League R. It is believed that he doesn't want to come back at Arsenal and be a third choice striker. If he comes back, he either wants to be the second to Gabriel Jesus or even have that guarantee for playing time. Newcastle again. Are the club interested in him? Talk to me about Balogun. Keep, sell, bench.
He's absolutely having a fire season. His team as well is doing well. I think his team is like 19 games unbeaten or something with the young manager. They're doing very, very well. To be honest, I always thought he was okay, but I didn't think he was this good to score 20 goals in a season or something. I didn't think he was that kind of good. And I've seen his finishes sometimes. Absolutely incredible, man. And he's fighting for top scorer awards with those big guys there, World Cup winners and stuff.
Yeah,
World Cup winners, man. So it depends on two situations. If he doesn't want to come, then you sell him. But at the moment, I'd send him on another loan, another year, just like Saliba, send him on another loan once again, see how he does. Right now, I mean, if you sell him right now, you can easily get 35 million or something. I don't know if Frames would be able to pay that, but we should be able to get something like that. But I'd give him another loan. He's 21 years of age. Give him another loan, maybe in the same team or a different club, just like Saliba, but in the same league. Let's see how he does. Let's see if he can actually keep it going. Then if his numbers drop to like 12 from 20 and his price drops from like 35 to 25, then you can sell him right away or say, you know what, we can just bring you back. Let's see, we saw something the previous season. But at the moment, I'd send him on another loan. I'd not sell him, no. Unless it 100% does not want to come back. But I feel like we need another season to see what happens with Jesus, see what happens with Nketiah, and then he's still our player. Let him go out on loan. If Nketiah stays, I think he will stay next season, and doesn't do well next season, then you can think about selling Nketiah and bringing back Balogun. But next season, I actually want something different. I want, I know Nketiah is going to stay, so Jesus Nketiah, and I want a different kind of striker, a tall striker heading the ball. You can put in the ball into the box. So those are the three strikers I want next season.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're also going to talk about a center forward. But you know, this is what I would do with Folarin Balogun. I think sending him back on loan is very, very good. You let him sign a new deal, and then send him back on loan. We don't do it the way we've done with Saliba. You first let him sign a new deal, and then send him back on loan, because there's so many eyes around him. There's so many eyes that are trying to look at him. I would send him on loan to a club like Brighton. And this is like very dangerous, because Brighton are some of the clubs that are creating the highest XGs, expected goals, in games. So if you give them a prolific finisher, he would definitely tear right at Brighton. But I would take him to Brighton. I want to see if he's getting these chances against harder opponents, right? How would he actually fare on? Because Brighton don't care. Whether you're Liverpool, whether you're Man United, Manchester City, West Ham, they can create 10 chances, 10 goal scoring opportunities per 90 for you. Can you convert that? But then I also thought about, I kind of feel like Eddie is ahead of Balogun in development, right? But I feel like I would want to see Balogun ahead of Eddie. I would want to see a season where Balogun is there, like next season. I would love to see him there and try Eddie, maybe, and sell Eddie. Would you be open to that? We sell Eddie to, I don't know, maybe West Ham. West Ham have always been big fans of Eddie Nketiah. We sell Eddie to West Ham. We buy in a striker like a Skamaka kind of guy, right? Huge, has different facets to his game, and then Balogun, is there. You tell him you will be playing every single cup competition for us now.
I mean, we're in the Champions League next season, so I don't think he will be playing that. Yeah. And Carabao Cup, he could easily be eliminated in the first round, and then you're killing his development. So I'd still keep him out on loan. I'd not bring him back next season. I think there's some teams who usually do that very rush. I think it was Loftus-Cheek or some. I think Loftus-Cheek did very well for Fulham on loan from Chelsea, and Chelsea I think brought him back right away, and they killed his development. And I think they've done the same thing with Gallagher. They should have left Gallagher at Crystal Palace on another 1 year. You'd have been absolutely crazy. Now he's come back to Chelsea, and I think he's gone down. I think his value was like at 40 million at the end of last season after playing for Crystal Palace. Right now, I don't think I'd pay 15 million for Gallagher. So you need to be careful in terms of, oh my goodness, he's done well for 20 games, let's bring him back. No, give him another 20. I mean, he did very well. Saliba did very well at Saint Etienne on his loan deal. He did very well at Nice. We could have brought him back immediately, but he decided, you know what, let's send him to Marseille for the third season until we are sure, until people are not happy. People wanted us out because of that. Why are we keeping this defender? And Saliba is there, but it's worked. It's come back. He's come back grown, fully developed. I think I'd do the same thing with Balogun. Let him keep on playing. Let him keep on playing. Maybe he can get an international call-up. Let him keep on playing for another season on loan. I'd keep Nketiah, but not as a second choice, like cup competitions have said, and maybe come on. I think his Premier League experience, like he'd not be afraid of playing against an Aston Villa or Man United. He's done it, so I'd keep him. And anyway, I don't think he will be sold at the end of the day. I think he will stay no matter what we say. So I think he will be here with the third striker, as you said, either like someone like a Scamacca, tall, bully in the box. So those would be my three strikers. Keep Balogun out on loan for another season. I'd love Brighton for sure. Brighton, I'd love to play for Brighton if I was a player. I mean, everything is just so good. They're attacking. So many good players.
They're the best well-run club in the world right now. I'll just give them that.
Yeah, for sure. That is what I'd do.
Yeah. So if Folarin Balogun goes, the good thing is that he's not a contract treble. He signed his new deal in 2020 January, was it? Actually, 2022 January, before going out on loan to Middlesbrough in the Championship. So his contract, but I think we would need to make it better just to recognize his development in France. We just need to make it better. There's no problem about that. How about the idea of him going to Newcastle on a permanent? Because that is what we're looking at. Newcastle are offering themselves as an outlet to Folarin Balogun, who doesn't want to be a third choice striker at Arsenal. And what we are hearing is that they are ready to bid for the youngster. Newcastle is a new Manchester City, and all people must understand that the difference between Newcastle and Man City is that Newcastle's development has like come very quickly. Manchester City took some time, but Newcastle's is coming. One season they survived relegation and finished mid-table. The second season they are hanging in the top four. Trust me, the third season they're winning some silverware. And they're real competitors and a big threat to anyone in the top six. Would you give them Balogun? Would you?
No, not at 21 years of age. That's a promising youngster. Unless they're splashing something like 70 million that you're like, oh, this you're going to take. Like they did with Willock. I think Willock helped them for that season. That particular season, he helped them, and last season as well, surviving relegation. He definitely helped them until I think they splashed like almost 40 million or something for him. I don't remember the exact price, but they paid a lot of money.
Yeah, it was around 40 million euros, 35 million pounds.
I would not pay that for Willock, so I think they kind of overpaid for him. So unless they're playing like 70 million for Balogun, I'd not give him. And as you said, I would respect them. All those guys, I would not sell directly to our rivals. That's why I'm not keen on. Like I was imagining, like giving them Tierney, for example, and then they have Trippier and Ban. They have the best defensive record in the league. So you add them Tierney as well on top of that? No. So I don't want to strengthen them because I feel like we are not going to be at the top with Man City by ourselves, just the two of us for the next 5 seasons. No, I expect these teams to be there. I expect us to be maybe third, second, fighting for these teams. First, then second, third, they're fighting with these teams. So I would not give Newcastle.
All right. So the other clubs interested in Folarin Balogun, Lazio, AC Milan. I think he would do actually very much wonders at Milan. You give them Balogun on loan. I think they don't create a lot of chances, but they have just made themselves a better side in the Italian Serie A. So they win so many games, and if they have a striker like Balogun, and he's playing for a big club like Milan, actually, it would actually enhance his development. He might even play in the UEFA Champions League if he plays for Milan on loan. So those are the clubs interested in Folarin Balogun. The other players that we're going to talk about is Kieran Tierney leaving. Nuno Tavares could leave, according to Gary Jacobs. and Albert Sambi Lokonga. Let's start off with Kieran Tierney. Tierney is not happy. There is word that he's not celebrating with the team. It's pure rumor, and I'm not getting this from any trusted source. But do you think it is that bad? Do you think it's that bad?
Nah, I don't think it's that bad. Tierney was not dropped from the team because he's useless or he fell out to the manager. It's really because of the injuries, and we can't blame him for that, and he can't blame us for looking for another left back because of that, because he was always injured, so you can't really blame anyone for that. It's not like the Aubameyang situation where it's like personal and stuff, or the Ozil situation where it's personal and stuff. So I don't think it's that far-fetched, and I think it's a team play. I saw him when he came on for Zinchenko in one of the last 2 games. I don't remember which one it was. He looked happy, like he was hugging Zinchenko, he was celebrating. When he scored against Aston Villa in the last minute, he was celebrating with Smith Rowe on the bench and Arteta as well. So I don't think it's that serious in terms of him not wanting to celebrate with the team. But do I think he will leave? I do. He was not signed by Arteta. Every player that was not really signed by Arteta and was signed by Emery and Wenger.
Out of the door, apart from Xhaka.
Yeah, Pepe is no longer here. You're signed by Emery. I don't think he'll come back. He's on loan, by the way. You can still add Pepe next season if we wanted, but I don't think he will be coming back. I think he will be sold. Players like Bellerin, Wenger, players that used to play with Arteta, same country and everything, he didn't want them. They went. So we only have like the likes of Jacques Elneny holding from us in Wenger's era. So I think we can't. I think he's done a good service for us. So I don't think you can hold him and tell him, no, you're going to stay by force. No, if he wants to go, let him go. But it's crazy. I mean, it's kind of sad because I think 50% of Arsenal fans wanted him to be captain after Xhaka. People were like actually voting him for captain. But he doesn't fit into our playstyle in terms of Zinchenko. I don't think Tierney can do what Zinchenko does. Like run to the right side, middle, number 10. I don't think he has that creativity. He can cross the ball, yes, from the left side. But in terms of through passes from midfield and just tempo and running, he'll get injured. So I don't think he can do that. He would be a very good backup if he understood that we also have the Champions League next season and he'll get a lot of big games. Zinchenko can play against Chelsea and you play against Barcelona over in the Champions League. If he understood that, it would be great, because if we could keep all of them, that would be perfect. But I don't think we can, unfortunately.
Yeah, we can't really, and of course you've got to feel for him. He's competing with the likes of Aaron Hickey on national level. If you're not playing football, and Aaron Hickey is playing for a Brentford side that have not lost a game since October, if the manager goes for Aaron Hickey, which would be like impossible, but if he goes for Aaron Hickey over Kieran Tierney, you don't blame him. So and he loves Scotland. He loves Celtic, and this guy really is a loyal person. I would love him to stay at Arsenal. I would love him to be more involved. If he could be that versatile like Tomiyasu, I would even say bench Gabriel Magalhaes and play him there. But he's not as versatile as Zinchenko and Tomiyasu. So yeah, I think he will leave. Now the positive out of him leaving is that the revenue we're going to spend in the summer, according to the Times, is going to come from potential sales and potential Champions League revenue. So that could be around 120 million collected. How much do you value him at? Because for me, 30 million is a no-go zone. If anyone comes with 30 million, unless it is 30 million quid plus 15 million euros in add-ons.
I mean, because of the injuries, it does take a hit. But I usually look at teams like Chelsea. Chelsea were about to sell Gallagher to Newcastle, I think, or something, before the transfer window closed. They wanted 40 million for Gallagher, who had not even done anything throughout this season. Chelsea were asking for like 60 million or 50 million for Hudson-Odoi, someone who never plays. So if they're able to get that kind of money for those players, despite injuries and stuff, how much Zinchenko we paid around 30-something million. He never used to play at Man City that much. Yeah. Tomiyasu we paid like around 20-something as well. Ben White was 50 million as well. So if it's not because of injuries and he was playing every single day and you want Tierney, you're going to pay 60 million at least. But since the injuries have affected his playing time and everything, I'd add 10 million to that. For 40 million. Yeah, just because of the injuries.
Yeah, 40 is good. 40 is good, but I want us to show some kind of power in negotiations. Look at Shakhtar. Look at Shakhtar, man. They had 90 million from Arsenal on their table and they rejected it. 90 million in January, right? If we can be that club, like because there's no question there's so many unhappy players that are going to come out of Arsenal in the next years. Why? We're going to have a lot of talent and we're going to have a lot of very very good players. For example, Fabio Vieira in the next maybe 4 years could be like, I can't get ahead of Odegaard. And maybe if Arsenal sign a player like Julian Brandt and he says I can't get ahead of Julian Brandt, I want to leave, right? But we bought him at 40 million. Can we get something like 60, 70 million, out of him? We need to be stronger in negotiations. But I hear you on that. Kieran Tierney, get 40 million out of him. Use that money to finance a move for Declan Rice, and it would
we paid around 25 million or something for him. So
Yeah,
do you think if we sell him for 50 million, it's because he's improved, or it's just because the market has changed?
The market has changed, but I also think he's improved a lot. He's played more game time at a top level against top sides, and he's had more marketing because he's played in the Premier League for Arsenal than in Scotland for Celtic. So he's actually much better as a player in terms of value, but also in terms of his football.
That's true. We've been bullied a lot in the transfer market. As I said, I remember us giving Ramsey to Juventus on a free, and then 1 year later they tried to sell him to us for 40 million. Like that is just like disrespectful.
Yeah,
we lost Sanchez on a free, Mkhitaryan on a free, Mustafi on a free, Socrates on a free, several players on a free. Even Leno, Fulham wanted to pay us like 4 million for Leno.
Million.
Absolutely not. So we need to bully people as well.
Leno was commenting on his price tag and he said, unless I'm a very, very bad player, 3 million is too little for me.
Yeah, very true. So we are being bullied in the transfer market. So what about us? We bully people this time around. You want Balogun, 60 million. You want Tierney, 60 million. Then we can negotiate from there. If you want Pepe, he's done well for you this season, 40 million. So we need to not get bullied in the transfer market.
True. The other two players that are likely to leave in the summer, Nuno Tavares. I was surprised at this. Ben Jacobs again. One of those guys that now I really, really, really feel like when he says something, it's not gospel truth, but he's had an insight. Okay, so he says Nuno Tavares could be leaving Arsenal. I don't get it. Like that was my initial reaction. That is my real reaction. I don't understand. If Kieran Tierney is going, I understand, but no, I don't get it. What's your take on that? Like, Nuno Tavares maybe leaving, and I know we will make a massive profit, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
We make a massive profit, yes. Now it depends. If Tierney leaves, then Tavares, I don't know if you have plans to sign another left back, or are we going to sign another right back like the one from Real Sociedad and then move Tomias to the left side? I don't know what will happen with that one. But ideally, he would be the one coming back to cover for Zinchenko, because he's done very well in terms of attacking as well for Marseille, scoring goals and assisting. But if they would give us enough money, I would sell him as well.
What's your price?
Right now, 30 million.
Yeah, 30 million, I would take it. 30 million, I'll take it. But I tell you what, according to what I've seen that guy do, I'll keep him for another year. Maybe if he doesn't want to come out Arsenal, send him back to Marseille, right? Just keep him.
I understand,
yeah, exactly. And that guy could be a 40, 45, 50 million signing, right? And I don't know how Benfica have given us such a talent. Was it 10?
Yeah, something crazy like that. Very little money.
Very little money. Yeah, very, very little. But look, if Mikel decides for him to go, we won't have any say in that.
For Balogun, I'd not listen. For Tavares, I'd be willing to listen to offers.
Willing to listen. And lastly is Albert Sambi Lokonga. Again, Jacob says that it is highly likely that Lokonga will leave through the window.
Yeah, I feel like, sometimes you can come back, like Xhaka. You can come back and create another relationship with the fans and everything. But at the moment, it feels like he didn't do anything to the fans, but it feels like some fans have already given up on him totally. Half of the fan base, and we're starting to hear about arguments with him and Odegaard and Xhaka trying to tell him to do this and that. I think he really wanted to leave after that game against Man City. I think he really wanted to leave. So it depends on what Arteta is planning to do with the formation and the tactics and everything. Lokonga cannot play as a number 6. He cannot do it. He cannot play the Jorginho Patrick role.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you. Did we play him wrongly?
Yes.
Did we play him out of position?
Yes, and we did that in some really tough games. You know, last season when he got eliminated by, was it Liverpool in the Carabao Cup? Was it semi-final or quarter-final or something? Yeah. We drew at their place. I think it was semi-final. We drew at their place. Very good draw with 10 men after Xhaka got sent off.
Yeah, Ali.
Ali, we got a point, yes. We got like a draw and went to the second leg with a draw. But in that game, I felt like it was suicide. Playing Lokonga by himself in midfield, like there was no Jacques in that game, there was no party. We played Lokonga by himself up against players that are experienced, who've won Champions League titles and Premier League the previous years. So I think that is suicidal. So the problem with Lokonga is Tavares, you can make an argument. Lokonga just don't feel like he fits into the system unless he plays really well for Crystal Palace and he lands that number, that Xhaka role, number 8 role or something, and comes and helps Xhaka in that role because we have a lot of competitions next season, then maybe. But just because they don't fit into the system, I think he's better in a 4-2-3-1. I would sell him if we get the right price.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no question about that. I think with Lokonga is one of those signings that the team didn't get wrong, but we just could have done better. As simple as that.
Yeah, systems. And, I mean, I don't think he's a bad player.
No,
like in preseason, I think preseason he scored like 3 goals and 3 assists or something in preseason. He actually did well, but system is the problem. It doesn't fit into a system unless he can land the Xhaka role.
Yeah. Do you think Arsenal can make a profit on him as well? Like, he's not had a very good time at the club.
Unless he plays well at Crystal Palace. If you had to sell him right now, I don't think so. I think we'd get maybe around the same.
Around the same.
Yeah.
All right. So that is it in terms of departures and players that Arsenal could lose in the summer, and that is what our take is. You can also let us know in the comment box below what you think about these, those names, and maybe where they can play and how much Arsenal could get out of them to finance our moves in the summer. Now, talking about players incoming, Arsenal are looking for a center forward. This one also shocked me a little bit, but it comes in from David Ornstein, and I was talking to CBS. So David Ornstein is kind of an insider journalist. Like, he has a lot of sources from the inside. And he says Arsenal are interested in signing a center forward, midfielders, and